Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a comparison presentation between two of my favorite video games. One's going to be Overwatch and the other is going to be Marvel Rivals. So our first slide that's going to be coming up is just going to be going over our topics of discussion for this presentation. So our first topic that we're going to be discussing is going to be the history of each of the history of game development for each of the games. So our first game is Overwatch. So originally Overwatch started as a project called Project Titan. So the developers decided after a lot of deliberation and with working with that idea that they were going to scrap that concept just because there was really a lack of direction in where the game was headed. But over time, as they kept tweaking the idea, Titan ended up morphing into something that we now know today as Overwatch, and it was released in 2016. With Marvel Rivals, it was a much shorter time in development of the game, and the development of the game was actually a direct response to Activision Blizzard, just because that company dominated the market at the time. So it was released to compete with their competitor. And the game Marvel Rivals was actually created by a company called NetEase, and it was launched in 2024. So these are just some early concept arts of each of the games. So on the far left is the Project Titan concept art, but you could actually see some of the heroes that we have now in Overwatch are in there. So it's concepts of both Project Titan and Overwatch now. And on the far right is actually a concept art for the hero select menu for Marvel Rivals. So our next slide is just going to be going over the game universes for each games. So for Overwatch, it is an original idea, and they have both the video game that's original, their own original cinematic, or cinematics, and their original comic books that they have. The GIF just kind of shows like the original characters that they also have. So they have, Mercy, Soldier 76, Winston, they have Diva, Reinhardt, those kinds of characters. With Marvel Rivals, it's based off of the Marvel Universe, but interestingly enough, it is not owned by Disney, so this game is not owned by Disney at all. But they do have the original characters from the Marvel Universe, such as Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange. So there are some similarities in gameplay. So both games, you are assigned a team, and there's two teams competing against each other. And both of the teams' goals are to capture or defend an objective. So that's how you play the game. Whoever has the most points in defending or capturing the objective actually win the game. And this is just the maps of each of the games. So on the far right is just Marvel Rivals map that you attack and defend an objective. And on the far left, or top left, is a bird's eye view of an Overwatch map, Lijiang Tower. Monetization with the games are a little bit different. So Overwatch was originally based their monetization business practices on game sales and loot boxes, but due to the passing of laws in different countries against gambling, they had to scrap the idea with loot boxes. At the time, the game then became free to play, and with the removal of the loot boxes, they ended up introducing battle passes to their game. But after a period of time again with the revival of Overwatch 2, they brought back loot boxes and just the original game concepts. With Marvel Rivals, they've always had a battle pass. The only difference between their battle pass and Overwatch's is that once you own the battle pass, it doesn't expire. So if you're playing it for a little bit, you could actually go back, you could stop, go back and play it, and it won't expire. It won't, disappear on you. But in conclusion, I find that playing video games in general is a really great way to find online communities. It proves that you can kind of move out of your comfort zone. I did so much so that I actually ended up finding my fiance through playing video games. So thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope that this presentation inspires you to keep pushing yourself even when you're not comfortable to, get better at something. Thank you.